Happy New Year to the live stream. Hopefully, all are having a great New Year. This is the first live stream of the new year. Let me share my entire screen so that you guys can see what's going on. So let me turn on the light as well as I get everything set. I want to look at the crypto fears like we always do. Right now, Bitcoin is getting the bounce, like I said in my Telegram or my Discord, I should say. I do also want to say, let me just make sure that this is going well. Let me just get this set up also on my other computer, and we're going to get started here in less than 1 minute. So if you guys are new, appreciate if you hit the like button. It does help support the channel, and it takes no effort at all. If you guys are trying to join the Telegram group to get notified whenever I go live or have updates to when I go live, if I have to tweak it at all, because usually I go live Saturdays and Mondays at 11 p.m. Central Time. But if that ever has to change, I'll let you guys know on the Telegram chat. Also, that's a good way to get a hold of me. Or if you guys are looking to get into the trading group, which we just had someone join the other day, link to join is in the description below on YouTube. That's where I get trade setups and everything else, Bitcoin updates every single day of the month, 365 days a year. Let's get into Bitcoin. Right now, looking at the Fear and Greed Index, we are sitting at 72 on the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Thank you, Chevy, for the likes on TikTok. So 72 doesn't really concern me whatsoever, but it's just something to know and have a good idea of that. So unless you're above 90 or below 10, I really do not care about where that's at. Although it's, again, always good to know where it's at, so you know where you're in the market cycle. If you're getting close to 90, be cautious. If you're getting close to 10, that's when you go heavy. But I'm starting to buy more Bitcoin because I think Bitcoin's getting ready for its next leg up. I bought more Bitcoin, not much, but I bought a little bit more Bitcoin yesterday. And I'm starting to add to my bags again because I don't have much Bitcoin right now, so I want to get more. And that's kind of my goal. That's where I stand with it. So whenever I have extra cash on the side, I'll be throwing it into Bitcoin. Right now, let's look at Bitcoin. It's sitting at $98,356. I drew this flag. I put this in the trade group around, let me just get rid of all these notifications. This all happened around the 2nd of January. 2 days later, today, you made the same flag, and just like in this flag, you dipped a little bit lower below the flag, and then you bounced. Same thing here. You dipped a little bit below the flag, like right here, and then now you're starting to get the bounce. Now, it is not confirmed that this is going to still get moved to the upside, but like this is another falling wedge here, and we'll see what happens. I'm a little bit concerned right now that the half-hour time frame is making a lower high, but to me, I still think this is a uptrend. Now, the level I do not want to see Bitcoin lose for this flag to play out is 97.5. If you lose $97,500, that would be a lower low in this most recent uptrend on the half-hour time frame. So I do not want to see Bitcoin lose $97,500. And the bigger measure move would be 101, 150. Hopefully my lag is not bad on YouTube. It looks like I'm frozen on YouTube, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Hopefully that's not accurate. I don't know what's going on with that. If we look at the 15-minute time frame, you can see it kind of is struggling. So I'd be a little bit cautious here on Bitcoin on the smaller time frames. So again, the line in the sand for the bulls to hold is 97,500. If you look at the 1 hour, it's kind of going sideways, so I would just be cautious. Again, if you look at the 4 hour time frame, it looks just like the 1 hour actually, as far as where the stock RSI is at and all that good stuff. So I would just be very cautious because it does kind of look like you could be struggling a little bit here for Bitcoin to get a move to the upside. So I would say I don't love where the 4 hours at. It's kind of struggling. You never got completely oversold. Usually when I see that, you do continue lower. So, and the smaller time frames also are suggesting that you're making lower highs. So this does look a little bit sketchy right now. This most recent flag playing to the upside does look sketchy. But as long as you hold 97,500, I would stay long on Bitcoin if you're already in a trade. If you're not in a trade, I probably would not enter right now. It was tonight's Saturday night, so. If you're not already in a trade, I wouldn't enter. And if you're already in a trade, I would leave my stop at 97.5. That is not financial advice. That's just what I would do if I was already in a trade. If you look at the daily time frame, you can see that on the daily time frame, Bitcoin is getting overbought. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a lower high. Now what you want to see on the daily time frame for Bitcoin is you want to see the RSI reset while the price resets, and we want to make a higher low. That way, the 2 and 3 day time frame can start to get the move to the upside. Because as far as I'm concerned, on the macro time frame, such as the 2 and 3 day, those are making higher lows on the stock RSI. So overall, I think Bitcoin's sitting in a fine place right now. As long as the daily time frame can make a higher low and preferably stay above the 21-day moving average, which is this blue line. If we can do that, if Bitcoin can hold 95.4, we'll be good. I'd be very happy if Bitcoin can hold 97.5 tonight. But in order for the daily time frame to reset, I'm not so sure that we are going to hold 97.5. So I will say, if you're in a long right now, it's a little bit of a sketchy long. It's also always sketchier to trade on weekends, but I do see a move coming on the 3-day time frame for a move to the upside on Bitcoin. It's just a matter of, is a daily time frame first going to have to reset before we get that bigger move to the upside. So overall, the macro time frames 3-day looks like it's about to make a new all-time high in this bull market. And even the 15-minute time frame I'm still watching this falling wedge from earlier today, or even really from yesterday. And as far as I'm concerned, if we hold 97.5, I think Bitcoin's in an okay position on the smaller time frames. Now, if you lose 97,500, that's when I would be looking for a move back to 96.8. If you lose 96.8, I'd be looking for a move all the way back down, probably to 94.4. You do have a little bit of local support here at 95.8, but I think the bigger support would be all the way down there at 94.4. So short term, if Bitcoin loses $97,500, I would be looking for shorts, or I would just not be in any trades. But if you have to be in trade, I would be then short. If you hold 97.5, I see Bitcoin continuing up to that bigger measure move up to 101, 150. So the line in the sand right now for Bitcoin short term is 97.5. If we hold that, we can go up. If we don't hold that, I'd be looking for 94.4 on on like the 1 hour time frame. So we'll see what happens. That's going to kind of set up your altcoins. So Bitcoin stays above 97.5. I kind of see altcoins ripping, even though it's the weekend. That's what I see, and that's just what's going on. So if you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know, and I'll look at them. Any thoughts on Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Doge Bitcoin? I can look at that. Appreciate if you just hit the like on YouTube. It helps support the channel, and then I'll look at that. That's my only request. I talked about XRP. I did talk about XRP possibly getting the move to the upside. Let me get rid of that real quick. And I said that this could be a rounded top here, so just be cautious on XRP. But I also said in my video I made a few hours ago, if XRP can hold $2.40, you would be holding support, and your next resistance would be 263. So if XRP can hold 2.4, will be good. If you don't hold 2.4, $2 is incoming. It looks likely that you want to hold that level, because the 1 hour time frame right now is trying to make the higher low and get the bounce. The 4 hour time frame is very oversold on XRP. The 2 hour is about to pump. I'm going to call it right now, not financial advice, but if I wanted to look for any trade, XRP looks like the trade of the weekend or the trade of early next week for a move to the upside. I would probably say it's going to break out sometime tomorrow, Sunday. That just looks like the most likely situation on XRP. But I would say the more aggressive move would be to take the entire length of this last uptrend and use that. That would give you a measure move all the way up to $2.91, and I don't think that's crazy or out of the question. I am calling for a move on XRP to $2.90 sometime. I think the move is going to start tonight or tomorrow morning, but I think it's sometime next week, later next week, we see a $2.90 XRP. That's a 68% chance to happen. That's just what I see on XRP. So I didn't talk about that measure move on the live stream or on the video earlier, but that's what I see right now is 290 is likely sometime in the next 5 to 7 days on XRP. That's my prediction. We'll see if I'm right or not. I'm going to leave that there and we'll see if I'm right. That's just what I see going on for XRP. Now, again, all of that is contingent on the fact you holding the support at 238. If you lose $2.38, then that can't happen, because then you'd be going back down to the next support at $2. So if you lose the support at 240, I would say if you lose 238, though, for sure, you'd be going most likely to $2 again. So if XRP loses 238, you can look for a short. If you hold 238, you could honestly be in a long all the way probably close to 290. If you're going to take profits conservatively, maybe take profits at 287, 285. But that's just what I see going on for XRP. That could be the trade for next week if you don't have any trade right now and you want to be in one. Not financial advice. It's just what I see going on XRP. So that is kind of what I'm in a trade on Wi-Fi. It's been kind of sideways. I've been in this trade since right here in this candle on the YouTube. You guys can see that. I've been in this trade ever since the 3rd of January at 9 in the morning, so literally 36 hours. I entered the trade at $8,664 on YFI. It went all the way up to 9,200 or so, and now it's come all the way almost back to my entry, back down to 8,700, got a small bounce, and you're almost hitting 8,900. I have my stop loss at a P&L loss of $4 or $5. That's the most I can lose. And if we hold 8,700 or 8,664, my stop is right below break even. If we hold this 200-day smooth moving average on the half-hour time frame, I'll stay in the trade. And if you do that, we'll see what happens. I have a measured move out of this flag into $9,800, but I also told my trading group this looks like a descending triangle, so just be kind of cautious. If this is a descending triangle, which I believe it is, these break down 68% of the time. I'm staying long because I have no risk in the trade to speak of right now, but we'll see what happens. Like the half-hour time frame and the 15-minute time frame are making lower highs again, so I'd be cautious. But I'm staying in the trade. We'll see what happens. I'm not risking anything at this point, so we'll see what happens. Thank you, Austin, for the follow. Thank you, SC, for the follow and for the likes. And then someone requested Solana on TikTok, so let's go look at Solana. By the way, we're also live on YouTube if you guys want to see my entire screen, although I think we're getting less viewers on YouTube because I think I'm a little bit frozen over there. I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe I need to restart my computer. We'll be back live again on Monday at 11 p.m. Central Time. Let's look at Solana. Solana looks like it wants to break out. And this looks honestly better than XRP. It's a smaller percent move, I think, but the measure move would take you to $232 on XRP. So maybe it's not. That's actually a decent move for XRP. This is on the 33-minute time frame. And to me, XRP looks likely to make a move to the upside. This looks, if I did choose between XRP and Solana, I mean, I could be wrong, but this looks more likely to break out even so. XRP looks good, but this looks really good. Like on the risk scale, I would say this is maybe a 4 at most. XRP is probably a 6. This looks like a 3 or 4 to me. This looks likely to break out. It doesn't have to, but I would rather take this trade over XRP. Now, I will say I wouldn't get in just yet because you see that on the half-hour time frame, you overbought and at the top of the channel. If you hold $2.15, if you hold $2.15, when you get oversold in the half-hour time frame, I would get into a trade here on Solana. This looks good. And the 4-hour, let's see what the 4-hour. 4-hour time frame is pretty oversold still. The 2-hour looks pretty good. The 3-hour looks pretty good. The 6-hour doesn't look good. And the 1 hour doesn't look good. But I like where the 2 to 4 hour time frame is at on XRP. The daily is overbought. The 2 days overbought. The 3-day looks like it could keep going up. And the weekly is really resetting on Solana. It looks like the weekly on Solana wants to make a massive new all-time high. That's oversold. You did go down from 260 all the way down to 170, but in the grand scheme of things, that's a very healthy correction, especially in a bull market. And to me, XRP or Solana looks like it's about to make a massive new all-time high. I've been watching Solana for a big breakout this week. This looks even more likely to play out than XRP does. I could be so wrong, but that's just what I see going on right now on Solana. But the short-term measure move up to 232. So that's just what I see going on Solana. Thank you, Minimum, for the follow. I guess I missed some of these. Yeah, if you guys have any other requests, let me know and I'll look at them. If you guys want to help support the channel on TikTok, you can become a member. Otherwise, you can also become a Discord member through YouTube. The link is on YouTube. Become a member. And we got one the other day. So anyways, that's kind of what I see going on Solana. Solana looks really good for a move to the upside. I got some meme coins I did see. I saw this one today, Butthole Token. I'm not so sure I'm going to ape into this one. But technically it's bullish, making higher highs and higher lows. I'm still in a trade on Herald. And I guess really that's it. If you guys want to be a real degenerate, I saw a Riz Unicorn. The market cap is $20,000. And usually when market caps are that low, I would not want to get in. But if you want to be a complete degenerate, 10 out of 10 risk, it's looking like you're holding these levels kind of nicely. Like you're holding the $16,000 range now ever since the 31st of last year, so about 5-6 days ago. So to me, it looks interesting for a move to the upside. I might put $50 in or $100 and see what happens. The all-time high is $72,000. I would not put much money in though, because even though it's holding $16,000 as support, the problem is that the volume is only 4,000 for the day. So if you put a lot of money in, it's going to be hard to get out. But I might put $100 and see what happens. If we go back to 60, 70,000, that is a 3x. So I might look into this. This is the first time talking about this on this channel. I saw this, I think, 2 or 3 days ago, but it is called Rooney on Solana. Very high risk. But I don't think it's going to rug pull or anything. We'll see what happens. I might put $100 in this and see what happens. It might be worth it. Just see what happens. But otherwise, that's kind of what I see for meme coins. I'll be back live on Saturday or on Monday, 11 p.m. Central Time. Remember, Monday is always our longer live stream. But yeah, that's just kind of what I see going on in the market overall. So again, just to recap, if Bitcoin holds $97,500, I would stay long on Bitcoin. The 7-minute kind of looks like you want to make a higher low. That's resetting pretty quickly. The 5-minute's already oversold. So to me, overall, I think the 5-minute has a little more downside because the 15's overbought. But I will say, I like where the half-hour time frame is at on Bitcoin. I really do see Bitcoin continuing up here. And as long as you hold 97.5, I'd stay long on Bitcoin. So that's kind of going to wrap up the live stream unless you guys have another request. But that's just kind of what I see going on. Thank you for the like. That's kind of what I see going on for the markets tonight. So one last request is Ethereum Bitcoin. Let's go look at the 4-hour time frame for Ethereum Bitcoin. I had my own chart for Ethereum Bitcoin. Let me go find it because I don't have to redo all the TA on this. But I know if you are below the level of 3.8, that is not a good sign. I just saw it, I thought. Here it is. So if you stay below this resistance here at 387, that's bearish. Your support is 344, and your next support is 32. Right now you overbought. Technically, it's a higher. Well, you're in a small uptrend right here ever since 34. So you could draw this trend line if you want to. As long as you stay above this trend line right here, you're good. But I will say that you're overbought now on the 4-hour time frame. That made a higher low, though, and you made a higher high. So now let's see if you can make a higher low and eventually get above the 200-day smooth moving average. To me, Ethereum Bitcoin looks like it's trying to get a move to the upside. And it looks like Ethereum is slowly but surely trying to outperform Bitcoin, but it's still struggling to do so. For a confirmation of a breakout, I really want to see this break 40. If you break 40, that's a good sign. Ethereum and Dogecoin pair. I don't know if I've ever looked at Ethereum and Dogecoin pair. Let's go look at Ethereum. I don't know if you even think I can look at that. Ethereum and Dogecoin. Ethereum. Yeah, we looked at Dogecoin. Is Dogecoin and Bitcoin pair a thing? I've never looked at the comparison. This would be interesting. I've never looked at the comparison of Dogecoin to Bitcoin, but here we go. So the 3-day time frame right now is trying to make a higher low. So let's kind of see where we have support, where we have resistance. It looks like you have support at 2.7. It looks like you have resistance at 4.9. And then you have a little bit more resistance up there at 7.7. I mean, this is something I've never looked at before. If we go to the daily time frame, that is overbought. How's the 2-day time frame doing? That's getting overbought. It looks like those want to make higher or lower highs, but the 3-day still is a lot of gas to get you up to 49. Let's go down to the 12-hour time frame. That's overbought. That needs to come down. The 4-hour time frame. Look at the 4-hour time frame though. This does look. I don't know if you're trying to trade this or what. That is a bull pennant on the 4-hour time frame. And technically speaking, what is this? Dogecoin, Bitcoin. So basically, this means that Dogecoin is likely to outperform Bitcoin. If this plays out, if this chart pumps to the upside, this means that Dogecoin is about to outperform Bitcoin. I would say if you hold 3.8, you're likely to see a Dogecoin move to the upside. So you have resistance at 4.9. Your measure move would be 4.7. It's likely if this does pump, you go straight to that resistance at that 4.950 level. And that's kind of my analysis. I'll leave this there. Hell, I'll even add this to my watch list just for the heck of it. But that's what I see going on. Looks likely to actually go to the upside here. Check the 1-hour chart. That still looks healthy as well. So I like this. I like where this is at. And yeah, it looks good. Yeah. I see this likely to go to the upside as long as you hold 3.8. I'll be back live on Monday at 11 p.m. Central Time. Until then, trade safe. Thank you for the follow. I am an AMP as well. I bought AMP a long time ago. Not really, actually, not even. I'm actually down a little bit. I bought this at 10.26. I was trying to swing trade, and then we got a massive dump, and I'm just holding it because I do believe as long as Bitcoin makes an all-time high, AMP is gonna as well. Daily time frame is overbought. That's not a good sign. But the 3 day is about to rip on AMP. This looks pretty healthy for a move to the upside. I don't love this like whole falling wedge thing here. It looks kind of like not great, but I will say overall the 3 day time frame is oversold. Whenever I've seen that big of a time frame oversold in a bull market, and you're making a higher low, it's extremely likely 9 out of 10 times that you get a move to the upside. So I'm looking for a move back on AMP to the probably at least to 11.6. That's resistance, and then above that you're looking at 14.8, and then in between that I guess 12.9 as well. But that's what I see going on in AMP. AMP looks bullish to me. I'll say the 4 hour time frame and smaller time frames. They're not great, but they're not bad. Like the 4 hour time frame is making a higher low. And overall, I would take it all the way down there because that was the last time AMP was oversold. So really a measured move right now, the 4 hour time frame would take you up to 9 cents. As long as you hold 7.9 cents, I see a move to 9 cents coming on AMP on the 4 hour time frame. We'll see what happens, but that's kind of what I see going on AMP token on the 4 hour time frame. With that being said, guys, I'll get on out of here. I'll see you guys live on Monday, 11 p.m. Central Time. Until then, trade safe and have a great rest of your night. Cheers, everyone, and happy Sunday. I'll see you guys on Monday night, 11 p.m. Central Time for our next live stream. Until then, have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you guys for stopping by and for supporting the channel with the likes.